Greetings to all those that have joined us today. My name is Andy Logan, and I will be the webinar moderator. I'd like to introduce to you our presenter, Delia L. Downs, Product Manager for Armex Blast Media, the baking soda-based abrasive line from Church & Dwight Company, Inc., and the makers of Arm & Hammer products. Delia will be focusing on the inherent qualities of baking soda as an industrial cleaning media and the unique advantages that Armex has added to enhance its application, particularly as it relates to the remanufacturing of engine components. Delia.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you to all our attendees. It is my objective today to give you a basic understanding of this well-known household material and demonstrate how it can be used in heavy industry to tackle some of the most difficult cleaning and surface preparation applications, like heavy grease and oil removal, paint removal, and carbon residue removal. Let's get started. Most of you are probably familiar with sodium bicarbonate, commonly referred to as baking soda. It's a fine white powder with a very benign nature. It has a fairly base pH of 8.2, is non-toxic, non-hazardous, non-flammable, non-combustible, non-sparking, and water-soluble. It also has a Mohs hardness of only 2.5. We have taken this wonderfully natural particulate and enhanced it for performance, for delivery in a pressurized air or water stream, for cleaning and decoding applications. As you can see, on the Mohs hardness scale, Armex, or baking soda, is softer than all other commonly used grits in abrasive blasting. You may wonder then, how effective can it be? How does it work? It works because it is a soft but friable crystal, very sharp and very angular. When this friable crystal strikes the surface, it fractures into many more tiny particles. It is pulverized by the impact on the surface. Two phenomena result. One, the energy generated at this point is the force that actually removes the coating or contamination from the surface. And two, the particle is rendered to dust. This is one of the primary differences between Armex and other grits. Even grits considered friable, like glass bead and plastic or agricultural media, maintain their integrity unless you're operating at pressures over 45 psi or 3 bar. Only then do they begin to fracture. Armex will fracture at the lowest of pressures, 5 to 10 psi, or fractions of a bar. We will touch on this point again later in the presentation. Remember, this is the key attribute that preserves the base material. As you can see in this animation, the hard abrasive particle maintains its shape and upon impact not only removes the coating or the soil, but also part of the base material, leaving either a scrape or a pit. Armex, on the other hand, fractures upon impact, releasing all of the energy upon the surface. That release of energy removes the coating or soil, but there is nothing left of the particle to cause damage to the base material. For those of you who are not easily convinced, here is an aluminum soda or pop can, completely stripped, without damage, warping, or pitting, or exploding. And on the right, for those of you who need further convincing, is a light bulb. Now all that's great, but I know you're not stripping pop cans and light bulbs, so what's the value? Here are some more practical applications. Before and after photos of steel crown pistons on the left and aluminum on the right. As mentioned, you can preserve the surface material, but the other thing you can do with Armex is eliminate steps. If your process usually requires a pre-wash, ask yourself why. Usually, your pre-wash is to remove gross contamination so that it will not contaminate the recycling media. Armex, on the other hand, is a one-pass media. You remember that it returns to dust on impact. There is no recyclability. You are always using virgin material. Now you're wondering, how can that be cost effective? Well, number one, it is less expensive to begin with than many of the other grits used, like glass or plastic. It also uses a very lean stream of material. It operates at very low volume rates, as little as a half a pound to a pound per minute in contained applications. Also, when you're working on a very tenacious soil, other grits that will lose their recyclable value at pressures over 45 psi can also result in damage to the surface. Therefore, you must dwell at these lower pressures on the surface to get the results you want. With Armex, you do not need to be concerned about recycling or damage. Again, because of its soft but friable nature, you can increase the pressures even as high as 90 or 100 psi, cut through the soil without increasing the risk of damage, without causing pitting or peening, warping, etc. You can get the job done quickly and with better results. So, to review thus far, Armex is a baking soda-based abrasive. It's soft and friable, making it a one-pass media. This assures the use of clean material every time, eliminating the need for pre-wash and the risk of recontamination. It also allows for the increase in operating pressures to be more aggressive on tough soils, providing a cleaner part faster with minimal risk of damage. Lastly, it's water soluble. This is of paramount importance to engine remanufacturing for the aerospace industry and certainly has great value for the auto industry as well. Particle ingression resulting from the use of other grits often requires detailed work on both ends of the cleaning process. Care is taken to prevent ingression using barriers such as tape and dowels, and more importantly, detailed inspection is required following the blast operation to be sure no particles are left behind, which can lead to, at best, warranty issues and at worst, catastrophic failure. Armex is water soluble and can be flushed clear of the part with a thorough rinse. It can be flushed clear of the most complicated contours, passageways, fuel lines. This attribute also makes it a highly effective method before any type of NDT testing, exposing material flaws easily and completely without crack closure. Again, saving time by increasing throughput. As you can see here, Armex provides a cleaner, brighter, like-new surface. One happy Armex user, Kevin Anderson, Senior Process Engineer, remarks, "It's getting so we can't tell our newly casted parts from the parts cleaned with Armex." It is safe for use around rotating equipment and movable parts, even safe for use around bearings, valves, and pumps. In certain applications where conversion coatings need to be left undisturbed, this too can be accomplished using Armex. There are other benefits of using this benign water-soluble material as an abrasive. For example, leaving a residue on a steel surface will inhibit flash rust. Remember, however, that all residue must be removed before applying a new coating. The Armex material can be used effectively and efficiently in dry and slurry blast systems. And the waste stream can be handled dry or as an effluent. In most cases, the dry Armex waste profile turns up as a non-hazardous industrial waste, which can be disposed of in a sanitary landfill. Armex waste can also offer a secondary use in wastewater treatment. While we have focused on engine rebuild markets, Armex can be applied to a myriad of industry applications, such as petrochemical, oil and gas field applications, paper mills, food and beverage processing, Analox roll cleaning for the flexographic industry, even microblasting for the electronics and medical device industries, just to name a few. Removing torque adhesive before NDT testing and between site drills is an important application for the oil and gas field industry. Stainless steel, aluminum, neoprene are some of the surfaces that you'll find in food and beverage applications where Armex can easily remove burnt-on carbons and other residues without damaging the surfaces or damaging rotating and moving equipment. Armex is used in both portable and contained applications. Let's watch now how Armex used in a dry blast cabinet cleans these manufacturing molds. Both of these molds are from the auto industry. The bottom mold is for making steering wheels. Armex allows repeated use for cleaning molds because it will help maintain the integrity of the mold so that it may be used, cleaned, and used again repeatedly. In some industries, operations are automated. Here, the nozzle traverses the length of an Analox roll at a constant standoff distance and pressure. There are many equipment options available, particularly for contained blasting. On the left is the Aerolite bicarbonator from Clemco. On the right is a modular unit that can be built at any length or depth to meet your requirements. There are also full rooms available for blasting. Slurry blast or wet systems are also highly effective. This particular unit from Wet Technologies is used in many remanufacturing applications. This process was using a Slurry Blast Wet Technologies booth with Armex Maintenance XL. This part is completely cleaned of heavy residues despite its contours and through holes. Watch how Armex performs in this slurry blast cabinet from Wet Technologies. Other applications using the Wet Technology systems include carbon fiber surface preparation and aviation anodized wheel cleaning without removing the anodize. Armex has a full line of abrasives engineered for specific application results. Profile formulas can remove heavier corrosion and carbon deposits. Here, using the Armex maintenance formula at 60 psi, we have 100% soil removal in as little as 32 seconds to 3.10 minutes. Turbine formula is a favorite among engine builders. As you can see, Armex can deliver a like-new part. Chris McGinnis, process manufacturing engineer, states, "You can't hand detail and get as clean as you can with soda." Another interesting benefit of Armex, due to its pH of 8.2, is that you can leave a residue on steel surfaces that will prevent flash rust. In this particular case, the rust was removed, the residue left, the part shipped back to the customer, who would then remove the residue before they move on to the next step in their process. There are so many good places to use Armex that force-fitting it is an inefficient use of time and energy. It is not a panacea, and there are places where it just won't shine. Heavy rust removal, where you require a deep surface profile, where your parts are of little or low value and can be cleaned in a bulk cleaning system. Because Armex is a line-of-sight operation, it is not usually compatible with complex automation. And certainly, if there are no environmental, worker, or safety concerns, which is certainly rare, there may be other options, including chemicals, to do the job. So now that you have an idea about how it works, I'd like to share with you how Armex can improve the economics of your process. Our first efforts delivered greatly for this end user with regards to labor, utility use, chemicals purchased, and certainly improving their throughput. Another core remanufacturer began using Armex in 1998. They have 4 machines in just one of their facilities. In 2006, they switched to turbine formula, which is one of our profile blended formulas, to achieve a higher level of clean and a like-new part. Is it worth the investment? As you can see, this customer eliminated steps, improved output, and found that their paint cure rate improved from 1.5 hours to just 45 minutes. While we are still investigating this phenomenon, we believe it is due to the intense level of clean on the surface. This customer started with just 1 machine and within months ordered 2 additional machines for their facility. You always want to know how the process is going to impact your employees and how well they are going to adapt to the change. Well, one of our customers said, "This one is easy. The operators really drove the change after our visit to the distributor for the demo. We put the equipment in place and the operators ran with the changes and improvements." You can't ask for much better than that. Thank you for your time today. Andy?
Thank you everyone for attending. I know that you have been given a lot of information today regarding Armex and its uses, so I'm sure some of you have questions. We can take the time now to answer some of them. Can I use Armex in the equipment I currently have?
Armex can be used in any equipment manufactured for baking soda blasting. You may even be able to get results with conventional sandblasting equipment, but systems designed for soda blasting will certainly improve performance and cost efficiencies. Pressure systems will generally work better than suction systems. We also recommend that you investigate the use of the Armex performance nozzles, especially if you are trying to strip heavy coatings. Most cabinet systems are designed to recycle abrasives. Armex cannot be recycled as it is extremely friable and breaks down at any pressure. There are 2 consequences of this action that are addressed in a soda cabinet that are not addressed in conventional recycling cabinets. First of all, the visibility around the workpiece may be greatly reduced. This may not be a problem when doing 1 or 2 pieces periodically, but if you are interested in production blasting, you need the visibility. Secondly, the dust collector may fill prematurely. As stated, Armex breaks down on impact and therefore is considered a one-pass media. That means all the debris and spent media would bypass the cyclone separator and go directly to the dust collector, blinding it prematurely. In a cabinet system designed for soda, the cyclone drops out most of the debris, waste, and spent media into a drum, and only the very fine particulate goes to the dust collector, thus prolonging its use. These are two good reasons to invest in a dedicated soda cabinet system rather than try to use or retrofit a recycling cabinet.
Will it remove rust?
With the right equipment and nozzles, Armex can be very effective in removing surface corrosion. Heavier rust may be removed with one of our blended profile formulas, but often other harder grits or more aggressive methods would be better for heavy rust removal.
Will it remove paint?
Armex is very effective in removing applied coatings and can clean and depaint in one step. It is also so user-friendly that with practice and at adjusted pressures, operators can often control the level of clean and so remove soils without removing paint or remove top coats without removing primer.
What grit sizes are available?
We began with 3 grit sizes, basically small, about 70 microns or 220 grit, medium, about 170 microns or 100 grit, and extra large, about 270 microns or 70 grit. We then used these grit sizes as a base and formulated 8 additional products, combining other ingredients for specific results regarding flowability, rinse enhancement, grease and oil removal, or surface profiling. A full list of products can be found on our website at armex.com.
Can we buy direct from the manufacturers?
Armex is sold through a network of independent distributors worldwide that offer both equipment, abrasive, and support. You can find a distributor by going to the Distributor Locator tab on armex.com.
If I can't recycle it, how economic can it be?
Armex should be considered for high-value parts that may be sensitive or cannot risk alteration of any kind. When substrate preservation is paramount, there are few processes that can compare with Armex regarding price or efficiency. Considering all aspects of your project or process, cradle to grave, Armex can often eliminate steps, improve cleaning, and minimize waste. All this must be considered when evaluating its economy.
Can I use the baking soda I can get from the grocery store?
While all baking soda is chemically the same, NaHCO3, only Armex is formulated for use as a blast media, and only Armex is manufactured by Arm & Hammer. Formulations contain uniform particle sizes and ingredients for flowability and rinsability. The profile formulas are uniquely blended for more aggressive removal applications.
What do you do about the dust?
In air-driven applications, Armex can be used dry or wet with water for dust suppression. Depending on the application, portable containment may be used to control dust, like negative air and air scrubbers. Also available, and as mentioned in this presentation, fully contained cabinet systems are available for production and remanufacturing applications. Thank you for your time today.
You will be receiving an email with a link to the on-demand version of this presentation, a PDF of this PowerPoint, and a Q&A transcript. Lastly, please take a moment to complete our survey, which will appear on your screen at the end of this webinar. Take care, and we'll talk with you soon.